What's up, guys? Alright, so in today's video we're going to be talking about color correction. So today we're going to be color correcting in Photoshop. We're going to be color correcting an image that I took a couple days ago, importing it into Photoshop and showing you guys exactly what I do to color correct my images. There's really no exact way of doing it. Everyone has different styles and different platforms that they color correct on. Today we're only going to be touching on Photoshop, but in later videos we're going to be showing you guys how to do it on different platforms as well, like Lightroom and things like that. So if you're interested in that, please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for those other videos. We're also going to be doing videos on how to color correct videos within iMovie, within Final Cut, within Adobe Premiere, all kinds of platforms. So again, stay tuned for that. But today, like I said, we're going to be touching on color correcting images. Now, color correction is very important because it can take your image from looking like this to looking like this, which, as you can see, with a couple little corrections and adjustments, it looks completely different. So, enough being said, let's go into Photoshop and let me show you guys what I did to make my image look like this. Alright, so taking a look over here at Photoshop, we have the image. Now this picture I actually took yesterday. I went out and played around with my camera a little bit. I was actually doing a video. I shot an S-Log2. It was a great first time shooting in that. I had never messed with it, so I really wanted to, try to see what I could do with it, see the options. I had heard great things about it, and indeed it came out really cool. I love what it looked like. So go check it out. It's actually on my Instagram and it's on my Facebook. I'll include both down below. Let me know what you think of the video. But I did take this still out of like another 10 while I was there, because I did want to mess around with the picture as well. I think I could do something really cool. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about how to color correct. Completely different from color grading. So let's get into color correction. First thing is first. Color correcting in Photoshop, in my opinion, is probably the easiest place to color correct. I'll probably be doing videos on color correcting in other places, like Lightroom and different applications. But for now, let's just focus on Photoshop. Again, in my opinion, it is the easiest. Okay, so this is the color correction. So this is with no color correction, and now let me turn it on. That's what the color correction looked like at the end. So once I finish color correcting. Now again, this is no color grading. In my opinion, this is what my eye saw. So big thing about color correcting, is what did your eye see when you took this image? Now, obviously, the human eye is a very beautiful thing. Everything tries to replicate the human eye and to get as close as to what we see. I don't think anything is that exact. Honestly, it might even be a little better, but nothing is exactly what the human eye can see. So the beauty of color correcting is to get all the colors and the darks, just everything to look like what you saw that day when you took that picture. So again, in my opinion, this is kind of what I saw. Now, obviously, a couple things here is the darks are a little more crushed. As you can see in these areas right here, darks are a little bit more crushed, but that's not a big deal. I do know that my tires are black. There was shadows here, so it looks okay. In my opinion, this is well color corrected, and after this we can apply a color grade to give it even more style and to kind of emphasize whatever I want the shoot or the picture to look like. But today, again, we will only be focusing on color correcting. So let's dive right into it. Let me turn this off, and we're basically gonna replicate this. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to come out exactly like what I did. These are the layers I have right here, but let's turn it off and let's start new. First thing is first, I do this to all my pictures. All of my pictures, I go through the same process. So you go over here and you open up this tool right here. It's all the adjustment layers, and we go over here to where it says curves. All right, so select that. Then what you want to do is select this little guy right here. Now this basically we're gonna select the darkest part of our image. If you want to be really exact, you can hold Option and click this right here, this little slider, and it'll show you the darkest part. So right there, it looks like in my grill of my car, that's the darkest parts of my image, okay? So I'm probably gonna select something around that. I actually think that over here in my tire, as you guys can see, right there, that's probably what I'm going to select. So let me zoom into that. All right, so we're zoomed in. As you guys can see, this is pretty much black right here. So let me click on that, and I'm going to select that as my darkest part of my image. So just with that, let me show you what just happened. With that one correction, it looks a lot better. All right, so once we have that, then we select the lightest part of our image. And again, to be exact, you can hit Option and hold this slider right here, and it'll show you the brightest part of our image. So it looks like this right here was the brightest part, so that's what I'm gonna select. I'm gonna zoom in, and it looks like this is true white. So I click on that, and that will make it the lightest part of my image. And the last thing is we select a gray section. Now you can just look at your image overall and see, okay, what was, where do I see gray in this image? Obviously I see gray right here in this area. So if I click right here, it changes it just a little bit. Let me try that one more time just so you guys can see that. It makes it a little cooler. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it makes it just slightly cooler, which is pretty much what it was like that day, because there was absolutely no sunshine out. It was a very cloudy, as you guys can see from right here, very, very cloudy day. So with turning off just that one layer, this is what we get. And again, in my opinion, looks great, and it looks way, way better than what we had already. Okay, so that's a very big hint, or a very big thing that you want to do when you first start correcting your images in Photoshop. At least this is what I do. So I'm going to turn this and say black and white. That's just how I'm going to know that it's my true blacks and my true whites. Also, if you shoot an image and let's say your white balance is off, and there's a slight tint or a slight hue that you don't want, if you do this step, it will get rid of any tint or any hue that you do not want. So this is great. Okay, next thing, we're gonna head over and we're gonna do another curves. And this time you're gonna go over here and you're gonna select luminosity. All right, now with luminosity selected, we're gonna go and we're gonna click on this low part. So basically, to explain this, the low part right here of this graph is gonna control, on this line, the lower part is gonna control the shadows, the high part is gonna control the highlights. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's really up to you. There's no exact rule of how you should do certain things. And even if you selected the exact same numbers that I would type in to any of these corrections, it would look completely different on your image than on my image, because I shot this image a specific way, and I always like to shoot images the way I want them to come out, so that way I don't have to do too much adjustments. I always try to do it exactly the way I want it to come out, or how I envision it. That's how I try to get it the closest to that, so that way I don't have to do too many adjustments later. So again, I shot this exactly how I wanted it. Now I'm just gonna adjust it slightly. So I'm gonna go over here into the darks, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be crushing a little bit of the darks, and I think I wanna keep the highlights pretty much where I have them right now. I don't think I want it too much lighter than that. And you select luminosity because we only want to affect the light. We don't want any of the colors to affect. If you don't change that, it's going to affect colors. As you guys saw from this last one, it was also a curves, and by clicking things, it affected the color. So we don't want to affect colors. We just want to affect the light. So I'm going to click right here and I'm going to drag this down just a little bit. Let me see. I think that looks pretty good. I want the red to really, really pop. And I'm gonna bring this back up to the line. So like that. If you did a standard S-curve, it would look like this, which is very contrasty. If you were going for something really cinematic, that would be great. I am not. I'm gonna again leave it more toward on where we found it, so on that line right there. I like what that looks like. So let me show you. This is after, this is before, after, before. Again, big difference already. That looks great. So I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, now the next thing, I'm actually gonna change this luminosity. Very big thing is always to label, because I know I always go back and I'm like, wait, what layer is what? And I always get confused. So make sure you label stuff. All right, next thing we're gonna go is I'm gonna let me see. Let me look at this image really quick. Okay, so I see that the sky, I feel like I could have more detail in the sky. I feel like it's almost a little bit overexposed. I love what this looks like right here. I want a little more detail in the sky, and I know I want a little bit more color in the grass, just to make it pop a little bit more. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two layers. First one is I'm gonna bring down I'm gonna hit brightness and contrast. Click on that. And if you guys see, when I bring this brightness, it brings the brightness down for the whole image. Now, obviously, I don't want my image to look like this, but I kind of do want my sky to look like that. I like what this looks like in the sky right here. So, because this is it has a mask, what you're going to do is you're going to hit Command-I to invert it. So now, as you guys can see, this little box, when I hit Command I, it goes from white then to black. Now you can do that over and over. Now we're going to select a brush. So go over here right to the brushes. I'm going to select a brush that's you know, soft, not a hard brush, but a soft brush. Click there, and then we're going to select the opposite color of whatever this box is. So this is black. We're going to select white right here. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Now I'm making it bigger by hitting these little bracket keys on my computer, on my keyboard. So just make them bigger there. You can also go over here and change the size here. But again, let's just go right here. And basically we're going to just paint. So as you guys can see, I'm already bringing a ton more color back in. Just that part. Now we're also going to go back and we're going to uncolor. So basically right now we're painting or we're coloring, but we're gonna unpaint or uncolor some parts of the image, because since this is a kind of tapered or a feathered is a better word brush, it's gonna affect other parts of my image. So if I deselect this, the top part of my car kind of got hit, and so did some parts over here in the hill area right here. So we don't want that. I'm gonna basically click that, and then I'm gonna hit X. Now when you click X on your keyboard while your brush is selected, it's gonna switch these little colors over here on the left hand side. So let me hit X and it switches to black. So now we're in the opposite. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller so we can be more precise. And now I'm gonna color this back in. So as we can see, we're bringing some of that light back in. Color this top part of my car because we don't want that to get lost. Again, some of this building right here. Bring all this back. Okay, and these can, it's okay. I kind of like these dark how they are. So now when we click on it, it's very exact. So now it's just the sky, not affecting anything else. I can see that some part of this bush right here needs to be colored back in. So we go here and there we go. So now it's just affecting the sky. So great. So far, so good. All right, so the next thing is I want this grass area to pop just a little bit more, not too much. So again, we're gonna go over here to our adjustment layers, and we're gonna select, let me see, where is it? We're gonna select saturation, hue and saturation. So now we're gonna bring the saturation just up a little bit, and if you can see, it affects it a lot. So the car is like really torch red, which is cool, but we're gonna bring this down to like 9. I think that's good. That's pretty good. Now, the more the better. I mean, sorry, the less the better, not the more the better. The less the better. So less is more, because if I were to hit this and just jank it up, as you guys can see, wow, this just looks super not real. It almost looks like a Hot Wheel now, and the grass, that's definitely not what it looked like. So we don't want things to be too overdone. Just little details will go a long way. So let's go and select 10, and if I undo that, I can see that right here it looks a lot better. But again, I don't want my car to be affected or anything else. I just want the grass to be affected. We can go and adjust the car. I do want the car just a little bit more red, but I want to do that separately. So again, we're gonna select Command I to invert, and then we're gonna go where we already have our brush selected. We're gonna hit X so that the white is selected, and we're just gonna paint over the grass. So I'm gonna come over here and start painting over this grass area. Make it smaller in the areas I need it to be smaller. Good. Cool, that looks good. Go with a bigger brush. Just going over certain areas. All right, now this side. Right here. Very good. Okay, so now when I click it, as you guys can see, only the grass is affected, which is cool. Now let me go back and hit X and then go over these parts right here of my car, because I don't want these parts of my car to be affected, only the grass, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so now the next thing, like I said, I do want to bring the saturation up for my car just a little bit, not too much. Maybe like 5 would be, let's do 5. All right, so yeah, very slight, and just on my car. So now again, we Command I, and then we hit X to bring that white back, and now we just color in the car, just the car. And you guys can see right here, it's showing you exactly what's colored in. This box is the whole image, so it's just showing you what's colored in. And I like that. That looks really cool. Okay, so now that that's there, let me see, bring that there, boom, boom, boom. And again, you can be very exact. I'm kind of going fast because I don't want this video to be too long, but you can be really exact and
unpaint the areas that you painted that you don't want to be painted or affected, so that way the mask is more accurate. Whenever I have to, I get hired to do something, I spend hours on an image that I want to look exact. So that looks pretty cool. If anything, I might crush this just a little bit more, maybe like that. Yeah, like that. That looks good. Okay, so now let me take all of these, drag them into a folder, and we're going to call this CC2 for color correction 2, and this is going to be CC1 for that's the original one that I had. So this is the image how it came out after I took it off my camera. This is the first correction that I did, and this is the second one. I think that's pretty close. Oh, that's both of them together. Okay, so honestly I think that's pretty close. That's 1, that's 2. Yeah, that's really close. So that's pretty much the process that I do to color correct. So at this point, I feel like I'm color corrected. It looks how I want it to look. It has a natural look to it. And now I can start doing color grading. Now I'll talk about color grading in another video. I don't know. I can't promise later this week. Might be next week. Might be in 2 weeks. I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to upload the next video. But I do want to touch on color grading. That's a whole other monster. But if you applied this technique, this is these tools right here are pretty much what you're going to need to basically do some color correcting in your images. This can be done really with any image. Now every single image is going to be different. Some images you're going to have to crush your blacks a little more, some you're going to have to crush a little less, just depending on how the image came out. But color correcting is a huge part of any picture. I'll be doing a series on how to color correct within different programs as well, so it's not just Photoshop. Right now I've pretty much been editing everything in Photoshop, but I was a very big Lightroom user, so we'll be touching Lightroom and a couple other programs that I've used as well, that you guys can pretty much get the exact same outcome. I just really like how Photoshop works and the process behind it, the workflow. I really like it. It's definitely for me. So that being said, that pretty much concludes the video for today. I really hope you guys like it. Please give it a thumbs up if you guys like it. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've done this, if you learned something. If you want me to cover something else, is there another video that you kind of want me to do before I do the color grading video? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys, for now, this has pretty much been it. My name is Abraham from AbeZunMedia. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.